Here it is, the next project. Today is extremely humid, very nice, so figured it'd be a good day to show it off, show off the next bike. Very excited. I've had this for, at this point, a couple weeks. By the time this video comes out, it's going to be quite a bit of time already, but I'm about ready to start working on it, so I figured this would be the time to get the overview taken care of the bike and the project and what I'm going to do. So I'm super excited. This is an 87 BMW K75, the flying brick, one of the flying bricks at least. So yeah, just talk about why I got this bike. So before I got the CB1100, I actually wanted to start with a project bike, which was, or would have been, quite cumbersome, especially at the time. So before, actually to get the CB1100, I had sold the car that I had to get the bike. So if I did that and got a project bike, it would have been very challenging, because when you have a project bike, it's going to be down for a long time unless you're super slow about it. So now's the time. I'm ready. Gonna be moving in a few months, so figured I can knock out quite a bit while I'm here, while I have some vehicles around that I could use. They're not mine, but obviously family members. Use those to take parts, haul them around as I need. So yeah, so before, when the CB1100, I was looking for an old CB750 or just any K bike really. Obviously I didn't get either of those. Went for the CB1100, which was the better choice. Never had any issues with reliability, and that was obviously the whole point. So definitely a good choice at that point. We are with the overview of the project. Very excited. The bike is really clean compared to a lot of others that I've seen. So for the most part, hopefully I shouldn't have to do too much to the engine and to the entire out of this. One piece that I'm going to do is obviously get into the engine and take off a lot of these bigger parts and just kind of see how it is. The previous owner mentioned that the clutch was replaced somewhat recently, but I don't see that in the paperwork. The history on the bike is actually very well kept, so we'll take a look once we get in there and see how it is. But I do want to minimize a lot of the wiring that is in here and just kind of see. Looks like the battery was replaced also somewhat recently, so we'll see what we can keep and just try to keep the costs somewhat minimum here. It seems like the bike was possibly in an accident, because a lot of the parts that I changed on the CB1100 were replaced here. So you can see, if you know the K75 or any of the K bikes, they came with large fairings on the front. There were some that were slimmer, but this one definitely had them before. But you could see that the turn signals were replaced, obviously the headlight was replaced, and then the speedometer and tachometer was replaced. The guy that I bought it from did say that the previous owner was trying to convert it to a cafe racer, so it could be that, because the forks actually seem in decent shape. And from what I've seen so far on the frame that I can see, it doesn't seem like there's any dents or any damage on there. So we'll see. One piece that I am thinking of, I still haven't pulled the trigger as far as doing it completely or not, because the front fork does seem in really good condition. I was contemplating a front fork conversion, but I'm really not too sure anymore. The front fork does seem in really good shape, so we'll see what we need to clean up and whatnot. I do just want to do some overall maintenance though and get in good shape. We'll pull this off, obviously change up the front end, the handlebars. There's some risers on here, so definitely lower that and get them back to where they should be. And then again, there's a lot of, because this was all replaced, the previous owner, he couldn't figure it out, but there are some wires that weren't really fully connected. So we'll clean all this up. Other than that, really it's just going through. I'm really excited that it came with these wheels. There are some of the K series that come with the tri-spoke. Personally, I prefer these ones because I had an old BMW car, 2000. I say old, but it wasn't that old. And the wheels kind of remind me of this in an exaggerated form. So I'll probably just take these off, get them sandblasted along with the frame, and then possibly some of these parts on the engine. Other than that, the rear sets, gonna try to replace these, get some that aren't as bulky and old. I'm not too sure about the exhaust. I might keep this because I actually like the sound of it. I like the sound of this engine and really want to keep that really as true as possible, because I love this bike. I'm excited and super happy that I found one only an hour away and picked it up. And again, it's super clean. The only piece that isn't is if we drop down here, there is some oil gunk, but overall I haven't seen any leaks. So looks like we're in good shape. The exhaust, I mean, overall it seems super clean. So even taking this apart, I don't think we'll have much issues with rust or with bolts. Again, the maintenance on this was pretty well kept, so we'll see how it goes. So other than those pieces, I think the big one is just going to be the seat. That's going to be the biggest change on this. So I did order a seat. I'll pull it out right now. So we'll see how it looks. I might have to chop off some of the frame and then add a loop in here. So here's the seat that I ordered. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to stick it in there fully, but I will probably have to cut the frame just ever so slightly. So if you take it down roughly about here, you're gonna have just a little bit more sticking out, just what, 6 more inches. So if I pull that back maybe 8 inches, add a loop, then we should be good there. But I didn't want to go too exaggerated on this. A lot of people take this into a cafe racer, and I'm definitely not a purist with this, but I do love this bike, so I don't want to keep it exactly stock. I just want to change it up and minimalize it a little bit more. But again, don't want to go as extreme as a cafe racer. So that's why I haven't pulled the trigger and don't really know if I want to do the front fork conversion yet. But we'll see. A lot of people do it with the GSXR. That's the most popular one. And because of that, I'll be able to keep the front wheel, which again, I don't really want to change these wheels. I like these. If I don't change the fork, then obviously make the whole bike a lot cheaper to work with and get to that final state that I want. So yeah, we're gonna do a lot of cleaning and make this bike just a little bit slimmer and upgrade it just ever so slightly. But yeah, super excited. Everything looks super clean. Looks like somebody put some Sharpie on here, which is hilarious. Usually people go the other way and they'll paint it black and then keep the fins silver or kind of that natural color. But yeah, that definitely could have been from the previous owner that wanted to make it into more of a cafe racer. Probably didn't have the funds, but this is literally wiping off with my finger, so that's fine. There you go. But that's it. That's the K75. Hopefully hopefully you guys like the series. I'm really excited that I got this bike again. Hopefully get it going. I didn't really talk about too many mechanical issues because I didn't see any. Really, the only one is the throttle. When you open it up right away, there's some hesitation, but other than that, everything feels relatively smooth. So again, I will open it up, take it down to the frame, because I do want to sandblast the frame and also protect it from future rust. So that's going to be a big job, and then clean up the oil. I mean, other than that, just obviously do regular maintenance and see if there's any other seals or anything else that needs to be replaced. But let's get to it.